Hey Mike, this one's a classic. Oh, not the truck. So you got one of these hot air furnaces. And it's not keeping the house warm. Firing up and shutting off. Make sure it's one of these that has a flame sensor and a hot surface igniter. Otherwise, this doesn't qualify. But here's the fix. I'm going to use a simple bread tie from your bread box. Strip off a little wire on the insulation off the outside edges. And I'm going to find the red wire and the white wire. And I'm going to stick my little bread tag right there in the red. And white. Put my connector back in there. Must also bypass the safety switch. I'm using a screw to permanently bypass it so I can test this out. So this is what yours does. It acts like this flame sensor is not connected. Get the orange glow. It fires up. And soon shuts right off. So if this flame sensor wire is not broken, disconnected somewhere from here down the circuit board into this harness, and somewhere the circuit board's messed up, then possibly you can fix it yourself. Here's how. First, shut off the power because you've disconnected the safety switch. So now you get your screwdriver out. Sometimes they use a Phillips screw, and some use this 1/4-inch nut. So I like to use my magnetic, it has a little tip in here, magnetic screwdriver tip adapter, and use my 5-in-1 screwdriver. It'll fall out if you let go, but it's kind of universal. And then I get down in here and I pull out the flame sensor. And as you can see, I have no room for the screwdriver. So, for this particular one, we're going to have to get a ratchet. For this purpose, I'm going to use the 1/4-inch side of my ratchet and my nut driver. Mine goes in only so far. Make sure it's going counterclockwise so we can unscrew that screw. Be careful with this rod. It has a porcelain sleeve which can be easily chipped. This is ceramic porcelain, and if you chip it, then the electricity may arc through to the ground, which is this mounting plate that the screw goes in, and cause it to short out. So if this is cracked, it deteriorated to the point where it's shorting out, that could be a problem. But if it's nice and shiny like this, no visible cracks, then the problem is probably in the tip here. Now you'll hear some people use dollar bills and they shine it up. And I will tell you that I don't bother with all that hogwash. I use my razor blade. Oops, it's broken. Well, actually I don't even need the tip of it. I use the back side. It has sharp edges right there. And that sharp edge, I just scrape as I rotate this thing around. And I just scrape every part. Now, if you look at it closely, you'll see my scratch marks. And people say that those scratch marks cause it to get dirty quickly. But if you turn it, you'll notice that white powder. Well, that's what we're getting off. Anything that doesn't look like shiny metal. Any little imperfections of non-metal. They're oxidized metal. There builds up of carbon from the gases that burned. And you're getting all that off. And I keep my strokes all in the same direction. That way we're eliminating all the different cracks and crevices that might possibly cause it to fail quicker and build up dirt. But once you've done this, theoretically, you're going to have to do this every year from now on, because theoretically, this has scratches on it. So be it. Just do it every season, and then you'll be fine for a whole year. There's no need to replace this rod. This rod is simply a piece of metal. There's nothing magic about it. It just has to be clean, because the electricity is flowing through this rod, through the gas, and to this ground, and the computer chip sees the current going through this rod, and it measures that current. Average is about 0.2 microamps. If you got 0.2 microamps, most likely most of the boards, that's all they need. If you're not getting 0.2 microamps, that's where it doesn't work. Once you've got that all cleaned up, find your screw again and insert your rod. And if you drop the screw, good luck in finding it. Half the time it's going to be hidden down there. You might need one of those digital optical cameras to try and get in there and find out where it's at, or take all kinds of things apart. Start it by hand. It should go very easily because that screw's been in there before. Once you get a few turns on there and start to have a little resistance, I get my wrench on there. Make sure we change the direction, because now we're going to go clockwise. We're going to tighten that up until it just stops turning. We're not going to crank on it too much. We'll strip that screw in a heartbeat. Just a little light pressure, it should stop turning. Then we reapply our flame sensor wire, and we restore power. The board's going through all its cycles. First, it's going to check this induced draft motor and make sure it runs. There's going to be a couple of pressure switches they're going to activate. When they activate, it tells the computer that this fan is actually running. Once that's been proven, it's going to go up here and turn on your hot surface igniter. It's going to start glowing. That glow creates enough heat that it ignites the gas that comes in through this gas line, and the burners are they're blowing out the gas, and this motor sucks the gas right through the exchanger and out this exhaust. And she fires up the stays. You're the man. You fixed it yourself. Thanks for watching.